When we looked at Electronic Gaming Monthly's rankings of the entire Resident Evil series, there was one game that stood out: Resident Evil Survivor. With an average score of just 4.2 out of 10, this was the franchise's worst reviewed game, with all the editors agreeing that you should not play it. The truth is, most people didn't. And even if you did, chances are good that you never even finished it. To help celebrate the release of Resident Evil Village, and remind you that we posted a whole feature ranking all the games in the series, I want to take you to Sheena Island to experience a zombie invasion that you probably overlooked. Turn back now if you don't want to know what happens next, because today we're going to spoil the story and ending for Resident Evil Survivor on the PlayStation. This is Game Over, the early years. We all know what happened in Raccoon City, but did you know that that was not the only outbreak caused by Umbrella? It's true, and Resident Evil Survivor takes a new character to Sheena Island to discover the rest of the story. Unfortunately, when a mysterious man in a white suit shoots down the helicopter on the way off the island, our hero comes down with a bad case of amnesia. Now, he doesn't know where he is or even who he is, which is especially bad when you're stuck on an island with a bunch of flesh-eating zombies. The plot thickens when the pilot runs into the man in the white suit, who appears to have died after the crash. While searching for clues, he discovers a tag with the name Ark Thompson. Is that the name of the man in the white suit? Possibly, but there's no time for that because a zombie breaks up the investigation and sends our hero on a shooting spree. After escaping to the building, our amnesiac hero discovers an info dump that brings him up to speed on everything that happened in Raccoon City. He also watches a short film about the T-virus, which is probably not the thing that you want to watch after you just survived a helicopter crash. Probably the most important new piece of information comes from a phone call with a mysterious voice who calls him Vincent and accuses him of being a murderer before hanging up. This confuses the pilot, who openly wonders if his name is Vincent and if he's a murderer. There's no time to think about that, because the military is descending on the island with a helicopter. Their mission is simple: cleanse the entire island any way they see fit. The pilot ends up running into these military guys in the break room, but before they have a chance to kill our hero, that mysterious man from the phone shoots them while screaming, "Die, Vincent, die!" This is definitely adding fuel to the fire that our hero's name is Vincent. It was while chasing after the shooter where the pilot discovers a room full of clues, including a picture that somebody took of him. This is all the evidence our hero needs to know that he really is Vincent, which must make him a murderer. But before he can fully wrap his head around that revelation, a young boy walks into the room and pleads for his life. The boy runs away before Vincent has a chance to ask any questions or even explain what's going on, which forces our hero to race after him. It was while trying to find that boy that Vincent discovers all kinds of troubling facts about his past. Not only did he appear to be a terrible boss, but it also looks like he intentionally released the T-virus on Sheena Island in order to kill everybody. Man, could our hero really be that evil? No time to worry about that now, because there's a killer crocodile standing between us and all of the answers. The pilot quickly defeats the killer croc and opens the door to discover Umbrella? What's that doing here? Well, it must be important because it triggers a repressed memory in Vincent. He knows that he's going to have to dig deeper to get to the bottom of this mystery. Now, beyond the usual zombies and mutants, the pilot discovers an empty surveillance room that shows that there's a young girl somewhere in the building. He also recognizes that desk, which triggers another memory, this time of him getting into a fight with that man in a white suit. There's no time to think about that now, because a nemesis monster crashes the party and starts chasing our hero. We fill him full of bullet holes and race out of the room, only to discover that that girl on the surveillance camera is listening to a recording of Vincent's mother begging him to come home. As it turns out, that girl's name is Lily, and she's the sister of the boy who ran away earlier. And what's that? It seems that the boy has found a baseball bat, which he uses to keep Vincent at bay long enough for them to run away again. It seems that they just don't believe that he's not going to kill them. Yeah, That's annoying, but it's nothing when compared to the fact that we didn't actually kill the Nemesis monster and now he's back with a vengeance. We escape the building and chase the kids through a canal, which ultimately leads to a house full of zombies. It's in the kids' room where we find Lily trying to stay hidden. She reveals that she and her brother Lot were orphaned on this island after her parents were killed. To make matters worse, Lot has decided to explore the factory in hopes of finding a safe way out of here. Knowing what he must do, our hero shoots dogs, mutants, and that Nemesis creature while racing to the factory. Thankfully, Vincent gets to Lot just in time because a mutant lizard nearly knocks him off of a platform and to his death. After killing the mutant and rescuing Lot, the boy apologizes for being such a pest and asks for forgiveness. Vincent also breaks down and tells the kid that he, Vincent, feels bad about all the stuff he did in his past. This confuses the kid because our hero is not actually Vincent. Lot reveals that the man with amnesia is actually an investigator named Ark Thompson, and he was pretending to be Vincent to get all the dirt on Umbrella. It seems that Lot was the boy who told the real Vincent all about this plan, which is why he chased Ark and decided to shoot down the helicopter. That's right, the real Vincent was the dead guy in the white suit from the beginning. Vincent has been dead this whole time. Alright, so with that out of the way, the plan is to meet Lily and Lot at the factory, which is where there's supposedly a rail system that should help all three of them get off of the island. There's just one problem. The military leader of Umbrella is ready to do some deep cleaning. Actually, that's not the problem, because he's immediately killed by a new type of tyrant who will not take no for an answer. We shoot it a bunch of times and leave it for dead, but of course, that's not the end of it. After losing the first fight, it gets back up and reveals that it's even bigger and stronger now. The good news is that the kids weren't lying. There really is a train ready to take them to the helicopter, which will get them all off of this godforsaken island once and for all. The bad news is that the new tyrant we just fought is waiting for Ark and the kids at the hangar. This sets up one final epic battle with the beast. We explode the tyrant until it finally dies, and this is what happens next.
Hurry!
Seconds to detonation. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We're safe.
It can't be! Get down!
What are we gonna do, mister?
Yeah. What are we gonna do?
I don't know, but don't worry. We can fly as long as we have fuel.
Oh boy, it's easy to understand why Survivor was Electronic Gaming Monthly's worst reviewed Resident Evil game. But you know what? I'm here to argue that the ending is actually pretty good. It's obviously held back by the clunky visuals and the limitations of the 32-bit hardware. But aside from that, it's a whole lot more exciting than most of the endings that we cover on this show. It's also really predictable. I mean, who here was genuinely surprised when the Tyrant showed up yet again? But you know, predictable or not, I really like this, because it's a nice nod to the start of the game. I mean, Ark may be good at flying, but he's really bad at detecting stowaways. Now, in case you're wondering, a helicopter can fly roughly 250 miles on a full tank of gas. I don't know, that may be a little less depending on if you have a couple of kids with you. I'm not entirely sure where Sheena Island is, but hopefully it's not too far from shore. I would really hate for Ark to go through all of that only to crash in the middle of the ocean and get killed by a shark. Ugh, that would be a really dark way for this terrible, terrible game to end. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Game Over. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post one of these almost every single week. Oh, also, if you still want more Resident Evil coverage, don't forget to check out Electronic Gaming Monthly Ranks Resident Evil, a whole 30-minute long feature where we analyze what the critics said about all the sequels and remakes and spin-offs back in the day. Now, here's the question I have for you. What is your least favorite Resident Evil game? Look, I assume most of you skipped over some of the really bad entries in the series. So I'm actually kind of excited to see what you pick in the comments below. In other news, we'll be back shortly with more reviews, and who knows, maybe one of these days we'll tackle the rest of the Gun Survivor series. In the meantime, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then,